A French Quarter Street is closed tonight, still closed tonight after yet another partial building collapse on St. Louis Street. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Devin Bartolotta. This has happened half a dozen times in New Orleans in less than a year now.
I feel like we talk about this one a lot. Amelia Strahan spoke to a witness who watched as debris rained down.
There was a lightning strike, but then we heard like this loud crash. So someone came running out of the building, of course, to look, and people started screaming.
When Diane Honore left New Orleans School of Cooking Thursday, she was greeted by a waterfall of bricks and debris.
And you could see the bricks, were still falling, and all the debris, the bricks were crumbling. So it's very unsecure.
New Orleans Fire Department says the sound that drowned out the chef's clinking pans was a partial building collapse.
Well, we didn't know it was a building. We had no idea what it was. And so, finally when we found out, it was very scary.
Just before 1 o'clock, NOFD says part of a building on the 500 block of St. Louis Street started to crumble while crews were working to replace its gutter system. Inside the historic structure is an art studio and 5 apartments, but authorities say only one resident was home at the time of the incident and no injuries were reported.
We sell history and architecture here in the city. And these buildings are old, 125, 100, 200 years old, and everything rattles when the trucks, the water trucks, the beer trucks, the delivery trucks, the buses come through.
After living downtown for decades, French Quarter Management District Commissioner Glade Bilby says a structure in disrepair isn't surprising.
The best focus would be on sustainable tourism, so we had attention paid to the buildings, the architecture.
Unpredictable architecture is one of the reasons why he says making room for first responders on the French Quarter's crowded streets is so important.
We're in a program to mark all the corners so people knew where to park and where not to park.
Safety concerns aside, Honore says it hurts to watch a piece of the quarter's history crumble. In the French Quarter, Amelia Strahan, WWL, Louisiana.
Again, this is not the first time we've seen similar issues across the city. In fact, this is the 6th time in less than a year. The first was in September of 2024 when an abandoned building in Central City crashed down, closing an intersection along O.C. Haley. Then on December 14th, a building in the CBD partially collapsed. Businesses along O'Keefe are still feeling the impacts. At least one was forced to shut down earlier this year. Just 2 weeks later, a Magazine Street building fell down, taking power and parked cars out with it. It was fully demolished about a week later. And on January 5th, 2 dangerous events. First, a balcony on the former Two Jags building collapsed, and a few hours later, the wall of a 7th Ward home fell onto a house next door. Amazingly, no one was injured in any of these collapses.